Facebook. Welcome to another episode of Rug Cleaning. I'm your host, Jeffrey with Howells Carpet Cleaning. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. It appears to be an Oriental rug, which is 100% polyester by noting the tag on the back side. I cheated, but my guess, just by looking at the material, is polyester. I did turn it over and took a look. I saw possibly one spill on the back. The owner claims that there was no animals, so I'm guessing maybe water or coffee or something like that. So I honestly don't see a need to do a full flush on this particular rug. It is going to go through the dusting process, however, because all of our rugs go through the dusting process, and the dusting process is somewhat foreign to people outside of the industry. When you're looking for a professional rug cleaner to clean the rugs in your home, one option is to have the carpet cleaner kind of go over it real quick while he's there in the house cleaning your carpets. It basically just does a surface cleaning. It doesn't really address any of the debris accumulation or spills or something like that that could be trapped inside of the rug itself. And so, talking about trapped debris accumulation, that's what this rug badger is for. It's a cylindrical machine, and you can see the drum there at the base. Once you fire that bad boy up, it is rotating, and it's got like some straps that are beating down on the carpet. We do flip the carpet over and we leave the back side of the carpeting just because the back side of the carpet is much more durable than the front. We don't want to be tearing and pulling off any the carpet fibers there. So all the debris get knocked from the back side off to the front and into the grids, plastic rubber grid system you see down there on the ground, and that's where all of the debris collects. And then later on we remove the rug, remove our grids, and sweep it all up, and all the nasties go in the trash. So the idea is to remove it from the rug and get it out of there. So upon the rug badger, we then flip the rug back over to the state that you see it right here, and we use our commercial Kirby vacuum to make sure that everything gets a very, very thorough vacuum to get as much of that loose debris up as we possibly can. Ideally, we get about 80% of all that debris prior to even doing any extraction or applying any moisture to the rug. Okay, so after that first phase is completed, we move on to phase 2, which is using a fiber-appropriate chemical to help loosen and remove dirt from the carpeting. And what we're looking at here is an electric sprayer with a solution bottle in it. So we'll make up the appropriate solution. I'm probably going to be using Truckmount Farms Rug Smack right here because it smells great. It does a real good job cleaning, and it's not very aggressive in terms of pH. So it's going to be very safe and friendly on the rug as far as getting it cleaned up and getting the nasties out of there. Once that's done, we have this machine here. You can see the Master Blend label that is on it. No, this is not a well, I don't know. It's not owned by Master Blend. I should say they're not the brand. Master Blend is just a distributing company that has purchased a bunch of these Brush Pro systems, or cylindrical brush machine is what they're called. A lot of guys call them CRBs. But they basically have two counter-rotating brushes under there. So as far as mechanical agitation goes, we then run this machine on the rug there with the cleaning solution. It just gives everything a real good scrub. It works that cleaning solution detergent into the carpet fibers real good. It loosens those soils. It eliminates the sticky residue, and it also helps to destroy any offensive odors caused by pets or whatnot that might be in there as well. So that is completing phase 2. And again, like I said, it is a multi-step process because you got to apply the pre-spray and you got to do the agitation. And then phase 3 we don't have set up yet, but that is bringing in our truck-mounted steam cleaning, running the lines and hoses in, and giving this stuff a really good extraction. So that is the rug cleaning process, phase 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so after dusting is completed with the rug badger here, I go ahead then and examine the backside for any renegade fibers that might be coming out and kind of give them a cut with a razor blade. Give them a little bit of haircut. Not to completely remove them, but just so that they don't snag on anything. The backside normally doesn't have any, but occasionally you do get some, like right here. It had a little knotty thread that was coming out, and we just cut it off there. So some rugs have more than others, some don't have any. It just all depends on the integrity of the rug, how old it is, and you know what's going on, the history and the use that it's being used. I mean, it could be that if it was down on a porch or something like that and it was pulled across the floor, maybe it snagged on something, who knows. Anyways, we fix that up so that it doesn't become further issue later on. So now we are able to inspect the back, and it looks like there are like 4 or 5 spills that did occur here at one time. Looks like there's one over here, kind of a yellowish spot. I think you can see it in the camera because I can see it both with the naked eye and with the camera. I can tell that looks like there's one right here. It looks like there may have been another one here, but it's kind of hard to tell because there's a pattern under there as well. It could be circled stuff as well, but that one there is definitely a spot that I know of for sure. So I don't know if it's going to require any flushing, but we will take note of that so that we can pay attention to it as we are cleaning along here. So now I'm going to flip this over and give everything a real good commercial vacuum with our Kirby vacuum cleaner. Before we get started with the pre-spray process, I think it's important to note that we have a spot there. It looks like there's possibly a spot there, and I'm not sure, there might be one there. 4 corners, that is an indication of like a table or something that was sitting here. So this being polyester, those spots might come out. They might be imprints, in which if they are imprints caused by like a lot of pressure sitting on there, they may or may not come out. But we will make sure that we get plenty of pre-spray in there to get any contaminants out of there, because it looks like some pooling has occurred of maybe something running down the table, legs or whatever, and kind of pulling up down there where the legs are. We'll get those cleaned up the best that we possibly can. And that could be the spots that we were seeing under the rug, because they seem to be on this side, or at least all on one side, and I'm guessing that it was probably this side, because all we did was you just took it and flipped it over lengthwise here. So I believe it was this side that we were looking at. So what I'm going to do is I am thoroughly going to apply our pre-spray solution that we've already discussed what we're going to be using here, and I'll make sure that it gets down there very thoroughly. So I'm probably going to use at least a gallon, possibly more, just to make sure that that solution gets thoroughly through the rug. And then of course moving on to the mechanical agitation with our CRB. So I want there to be plenty of dwell time. I want the chemical to do its job, to loosen the soils, to obliterate the residue, and so that when we rinse it, all the contaminants do rinse out of the rug, so it's like brand new by the time you get it. In fact, a lot of times it's going to be better than brand new, because a lot of times when you get it, they had just been solution dyed, and who knows what type of contaminants and things are introduced into the rugs at that particular point. I do not know, but anyways, we're getting it nice and clean and fresh to go back into the home. A very generous application of pre-spray has been applied to this rug. We probably put down at least a gallon, if not more, so the rug is very well saturated with our cleaning solution. Now we're going to run there's the cylindrical brush machine over the rug here, and I did flip it over on its side so that you can indeed see the rotating, the soft nylon rotating brushes under there. So you're not getting a scrubbing action, it's not ripping and pulling, but it's gently, if there was any piling, which this does not have any piling on it, but let's say you're in a commercial or in a residential home with normal residential piled carpeting, this machine is gently uplifting on the piling, so it's not doing a spinning, crushing motion like those big floor buffers do. And they tend to weaken and loosen and pull fibers out. Newer equipment it uses more an oscillation sort of vibrating mixed with spinning and that sort of stuff, so it's not doing nearly what those floor buffer machines do. But regardless, in most situations I do prefer the soft nylon brushes and the gentle uplifting direction that these things pull, because they do tend to lift out more hair from the fibers, because instead of spinning in one direction, vertical across the carpet, it's pulling them horizontal. This machine is actually pulling the hair directly up and out of the carpet, and there are reservoir containers you can put on this machine, so it picks up the hair and deposits them into the reservoir containers, and then you can just dump them when you're done. This is not a vacuum. A lot of guys think that they can use this instead of a vacuum. This does not vacuum the rugs or carpets whatsoever. It does pull out lint and matted hair and such like that, but as far as any suction or vacuum being generated, this machine produces zero of that. So it's not a vacuum. It's not pulling out the debris that a vacuum is capable of pulling out. However, the mechanics of this machine are similar to the beater bar on the underside of a vacuum, but this is by no means a vacuum cleaner by any comparison. So we're going to go ahead and agitate this rug and get it prepped and ready for the final extraction. Okay, we got our hoses running in. Well, the temperature of the water is about 230, pushing up to 250 right at the moment. And so we are going to go ahead and begin the steam out process. Hot water extraction, truck mounted, does an awesome, superior job. We've already loosened the soils, put down good, got some good soil suspension going on with agitation and a good pre-spray solution. So now it's had plenty of dwell time. And the water in the truck has had time to get up to temperature because the motor's been running, and now we're going to steam clean this puppy out. Alright, and here be the final resting spot. Our fans are actually being used on another rug at the moment. This being 100% polyester. It's going to be just fine sitting back here. We will turn a fan on somewhere in another room just to create, open some doors up just to create a little bit of a cross breeze going through here just so that the air isn't stagnant, but it'll be absolutely fine. And tomorrow I might move around those fans and stick them in here, or at least pull one of them out that is currently on another rug and stick it in here. Just begin drying this out, but as soon as this is dried, it can be rolled back up and delivered back to the customer. Now, one last final thing that we are going to do that we haven't done yet is we're going to take this nap setter brush that I've got, and I'm just going to brush the nap to one side. There is really no nap on this, but it's just something that we do out of habit. We just do it anyways because some carpets need to be brushed or groomed in a certain direction so that they dry, because like viscose, for example, once that stuff dries and the nap is in one direction, it's going to be stuck in that direction until you moisten it back down and brush it back in the right direction and have it dried. So better safe than sorry, I always say. So make sure, you know, for a rug cleaner to be in the habit of just brushing out the rug is probably not a bad idea. Hope you enjoy watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the space below and I will answer them personally to the best of my knowledge. And if I do not have an answer for a particular question, I will be sure to contact somebody who does so that we can get that question answered for you. Have a great day and God bless.